The substitute. Mr. Callahan parked his car in the high school lot, double-checking his tie in the mirror. It was his first day as a substitute teacher, and he was eager to make a good impression. The brick building loomed before him, its windows reflecting the gray morning sky. Inside, the halls were unusually quiet, even for the first period. He introduced himself at the front office, where the secretary, Mrs. Green, greeted him with an unnerving smile. "We've been waiting for you, Mr. Callahan," she said, her voice overly cheerful. Her eyes lingered on him, just a moment too long. "Thank you," he replied, uneasy but determined to remain professional. She handed him a class schedule and gestured toward the hall. As he made his way to room 207, the students he passed stopped to stare, not subtly full-on, wide-eyed stares that followed him until he turned a corner. He tried smiling, but they didn't smile back. When he entered his classroom, the students were already seated, all staring at him in eerie silence. No one shuffled papers. No one whispered. They just watched him. "Good morning, everyone," Mr. Callahan said, trying to inject some energy into the room. "I'm Mr. Callahan, and I'll be your substitute today." The students didn't respond. A girl in the front row tilted her head, studying him like a specimen under a microscope. "Let's get started with attendance," he continued, his voice faltering. He called out names, and each student answered with a monotone here, their eyes never leaving him. As the day went on, the feeling of unease deepened. In every class, the same silence, some stares. When he tried to engage them in discussions, their answers were cryptic or disturbingly vague. At lunch, he sat in the teacher's lounge, hoping for some normal conversation. But the other teachers were just as odd. They asked him peculiar questions. "Do you feel settled yet, Mr. Callahan? Have you accepted your place here? What did you dream about last night?" By the end of the day, his nerves were shot. He decided to leave as soon as the final bell rang. But when he tried to leave, he found the parking lot empty. His car was gone. Panicked, he ran back into the building. The halls were dark, the lights flickering overhead. He called out for anyone, but the school was silent. When he reached the office, Mrs. Green was sitting at her desk, her wide smile unchanged. "You can't leave yet, Mr. Callahan," she said. "Where's my car?" he demanded, his voice trembling. She tilted her head, mimicking the girl from his first class. "You were chosen, Mr. Callahan. You belong here now." He backed away, only to bump into someone behind him. Turning, he saw the students and staff gathered, their faces blank but their eyes glowing faintly. They closed in, their voices a unified whisper. "Welcome home, Mr. Callahan." The last thing he saw, before the darkness swallowed him, was the school's name on the wall, the letters shifting and rearranging themselves until they spelled out a single word: forever.